Okay, thank you guys for joining the meetings. Now we want to present about using new rules for new technology. This presentation is made to complete the midterm exam assignment for the course Business and Professional Communication. Okay, before we go to the materials, let's next the slide. Okay, let me introduce my teams. Let's start from me. My name is Komang Dharmaguna, and the next member is
My name is Nilo Putupina Widiantari.
My name is Muhammad Fakhratul Akli.
My name is Bunga Putri Situmeang.
okay. That's all the member. Let's go to the topics. In this presentation, we have 4 topics. The topic 1 is ethics and communication in cyberspace. The second topic is online security and privacy. And the next topic is use of language and manners in email. And the last topic is use high-tech gadget wisely. Okay, let's start from the topic 1. On this topic will be presented by Pina. Please for Pina.
Okay, thank you, Dharma. So here I will explain the first topic. The title is Ethics and Communication in Cyberspace. This topic is divided into 5 subtopics. The first is downloading some cyberspace etiquette. Then know that behind every message in a human being. Next is make yourself perfectly clear. Then write only what you will say in person. And the last is stay true to yourself. Next slide. Okay, in the first subtopic is downloading some cyberspace etiquette. Adapting to cyberspace is similar to entering a new culture where misunderstandings, whether intentional or not, often occur. To foster positive relationships, it is essential to maintain good manners and be considerate of others. Always think about the potential impact of your communication before sending a message to ensure it does not unit unintentional unintentionally offend or harm someone. Okay, next is the subtopic. The second subtopic is know that behind every message in a human being, every message sent on the internet comes for a real person who deserves respect, just as in face-to-face interactions. Prudence is unexpendable, whether in the real or virtual world. So avoid being a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Remember that anonymity online is largely an illusion, as messages can often be tracked back to their course. Always behave politely, use the internet lawfully, and consider the consequences of your actions before engaging in negative behavior. Next. The third subtopic is make yourself perfectly clear. Effective communication on the internet requires careful attention, as there are no non-verbal cues like facial experience or voice tones. Science communication relies solely on words. It's important to use them carefully, avoiding subtle humor or comments that could be misinterpreted. If you're concerned that something might offend someone, it's best to change or delete it. Always check your message for typos, grammar errors, and unfamiliar acronyms like LOL is for loud out loud before sending. Words hold significant power online, so ensure your message is clear and does not lead to misunderstanding. The next topic is write only what you would say in person. In online communication, it's important to avoid unnecessary arguments and confrontation. Before sending a message, ask yourself if you would say the same thing in person. If unsure, edit it until it feels appropriate. Be cautious of developing false intimacy too quickly. Relationship online will grow slowly, just like in real life. Maintain politeness and restraint in your interactions, and avoid impulsive messages that will lead to misunderstanding. The last subtopic is stay true to yourself. In online interactions, it's crucial to express your opinions clearly and from your own perspective, and encouraging open discussion. Always be accurate and honest in your communication, as lying or exaggerating can damage your reputation. Stay authentic by sharing your true thoughts and feelings rather than trying to impress others. When using material from other sources, always give credit by providing proper reference or links. So that's all my presentation. I'll turn it to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. So we move to the topic 2. In this topic, I will present the topic is online security and privacy. In this topic, have 4 subtopic. The subtopic number 1 is remember that what you write may be stored forever. And the next subtopic is stay safe on the internet. And the next is know some key vocabulary. And the last is find out how to flame appropriately. Okay, next. Okay, in the subtopic 1, the internet is a vast and timeless space. Anything you publish, whether it's social media post, an article, a comment, or a file can persist far longer than intended. Even deleted content often leaves a digital footprint stored in backups or preserved by others. So make sure you wisely if you want to store a comment, article, or something like that. And I have a tips for navigating the digital era. The tips number 1 is only write what you are comfortable saying directly in person. And the last tips is avoid sharing sensitive personal information in public space. Okay, next. Okay, the subtopic number 2 is staying safe on the internet. In the internet, we have several risks or crimes that occur on the internet, including like identity theft, scams, and online predator. So, and the following are steps that can be taken to prevent crimes on the internet is use firewalls, antivirus, and anti-spam software, and never share personal information with unknown parties. And the last step is teach children about the danger of talking to strangers online. Okay, next. Okay, we move to the subtopic 3 is know some key vocabulary. In internet, we have a lot of vocabulary that you need to know. The number one is browser. Browser is software for accessing and displaying web pages. And the next is ESP or application service provider. Application service provider is host and deliver software application to user over a network on subscription basis. The next vocabulary is HTML or Hypertext Markup Language, the language used to create web document. And the next vocabulary we have Hypertext Transfer Protocol or HTTP, the foundation of communication on the World Wide Web. And next we have ISP or Internet Service Provider, the foundation of communication on the World Wide Web. Companies that provide internet access to users. Next, we have network, a system of interconnected computer for communication and resource sharing. And sorry, can you back the slide? Okay, and next we have URL or Uniform Resource Locator, the unique address of a web page or resource on the internet. And the last vocabulary is WWW or World Wide Web, a system of interlinked web pages accessible via the internet. The benefits that you know the vocabulary is you can understanding this term facilitates communication and show that you are knowledgeable user. Okay, next slide. Okay, let's start the subtopic 4. Find out how to flame appropriately. Okay, flame isn't always bad if done correctly. Let's start from what is flaming. Flaming refers to expressing strong opinion online, often in an emotional or angry manner. It typically occurs when someone feels offended or disagree with another person's opinions and respond with emotional or verbally aggressive comment. Okay, proper for flaming, we need to avoid personal attack, use professional language even when delivering sharp criticism, and we can avoid flame war and prolonged conflict can harm your reputation and relationship. Next. Okay, that's all for my topic. Let's move to the next topic or the topic 3. On this topic will be presented by Turil.
Okay, thank you, Dharma. I will present this topic. This topic is use of language and manners in email. In this topic, there are several subtopics like stay on the subject, share your knowledge, respect other people's time, don't use the CC button, and refrain from junk mail and chain letter. Can you next step? This like okay. First subtopic. What is flaming? Flaming is the act of expressing opinion emotionally and without restraint, particularly in online platforms like forum, blogs, and groups. It is not just about insulting others, it involves bold and direct statement. Flaming can be acceptable in certain contexts if done professionally and without personal attack. And there is key point in this subtopic, like what is flaming? What is flaming? Flaming is communicating opinion emotionally and assertively, but without attacking individual personally. And when is flaming accepted? Flaming accepted when it is polite, constructive, and not mean-spirited. And the last is the risk of flaming. The risk of flaming is damaging relationship within a community, triggering a flame war, ongoing verbal conflict online that is often unproductive, potentially harming your career in professional settings. Next. In first subtopic, there is example. First is inappropriate framing. The example is, that meeting was a big fat waste of time. I'm really fed up with going to this stupid meeting where we have to sit there and hear the same junk again and again from the idiot running this company. The explanation in that statement is, the statement directly insult individual and use uncontrolled emotional language like idiot. The next is appropriate framing. I don't understand the reason for the meeting today. We have covered the topic just recently, and, and it isn't good use of our time, especially when we have to keep recreating the wheel. Don't the execs know this is the loss in productivity? The explanation is, the statement focus on the issue, meeting agenda, rather than attacking individual. It remained constructive and professional, even though it expressed strong opinion. Next. Okay, the next subtopic is stay on the subject. What is important of staying on the subject? Staying on the subject and ensure that communication in online platform like forums, blogs, or discussion group remains relevant and focused. Avoid straying into unrelated topics or sharing irrelevant content that could disrupt the conversation. Always priorities, clarity, logic, and factual accuracy in your message. And there is copy into in the subtopic, like stick to the topic. Keep your message relevant to the main discussion. Example, avoid discussing other dog breed like German Shepherd in a Cocker Spaniel groom forum. And second is use private messages when necessary. For personal requests or unrelated topic, send private messages to avoid disturbing other. And the last is ensure your message makes sense. Avoid spreading misinformation or baseless speculation, and write clear and logical messages to ensure understanding. Okay, next. This is example of the key point. The first is off-topic message inappropriate. What's your favorite German Shepherd grooming tip? This message is not relevant in a forum about Cocker Spaniels. And the next is on-topic message appropriate. What's the best grooming technique for a Cocker Spaniel's ear? I've been struggling with mating. And the last is private message. Hey, I saw your post about Cocker Spaniels and wanted to ask where you got your grooming tools. Can you share the detail privately? Okay, next. The next subtopic is respect other people. What is the importance of respecting time in online communication? Online platform like emails, forum, or discussion group require thoughtful communication. Remember that everyone has different priorities and varying internet speed. Avoid expecting instant responses and ensure your messages are relevant, concise, and valuable. The key point is don't expect instant response. The internet allows fast communication, but not everyone is available to reply immediately. The second is respect all the time. Avoid sending long or irrelevant message, and don't overload other with unnecessary file, image, or video. The last is consider internet speed. Keep message simple and easy to access, especially for those with slower communication. Okay, next. The example to the key point, I have the example. First is inappropriate. The subject is funny cat video. Hi everyone, check out this funny cat video I found. It's 10 minutes long but totally worth it. Also, what do you guys think about my new profile picture? The explanation of that subject is, this message is irrelevant and wastes recipient's time, especially for those with slower connection. Okay, then the second example is appropriate, and the subject follow up on meeting agenda. Hi Tim, I like to follow up on the discussion from our meeting yesterday. Could someone clarify the deadline for the project? Thanks. The explanation is this message is concise, relevant, and respect the recipient times. Okay, next. The next subtopic is respecting other time when using the CC button in email. This topic discusses the importance of respecting others' time when using the CC or carbon copy button emails. It's easy to copy multiple people in email, but not everyone needs the information you're sending. Adding irrelevant recipient wastes their time, so it is important to consider whether they truly need the information. There is key point 2 in this subtopic. The first is consider whether the recipient need the information. Before adding someone to the CC, ensure they need to know the content of the email. The second, avoid flooding other inboxes. Do not send irrelevant or unnecessary information to many people at once. If someone doesn't need to respond or be involved, avoid including them in the email. The last is respect the recipient time. Sending emails to many people can waste their time if the message isn't relevant to their tasks or work. Okay, next. The example is about the Q1 is I have two examples. First is incorrect approach. The subject is update on marketing campaign. Hi team, here's the latest update on the marketing campaign. Also, I wanted to let everyone know that we're going to have a holiday party next week. So make sure you RSVP. The explanation of the example is, while the office event is important, adding everyone in the CC for something unrelated to the work wastes time. And the second example is correct approach. The subject is marketing campaign update. Hi team, here's the latest update on the marketing campaign. Please let me know if you have any feedback on the new approach by Friday. The explanation is this message is to the point, relevant to those involved in the campaign, and does not disturb others with unnecessary information. Okay, next. The last subtopic is avoid junk mail and chain letter. What is the importance of avoiding junk email and chain letter? The internet should be used for exchanging meaningful information, not for sharing irrelevant jokes, chain letter, or personal attack. If you receive this type of email, it's best to ignore them and delete them. If a friend or acquaintance repeatedly sends this type of message, politely inform them that you prefer jokes in person rather than by email. For serious matters, such as personal attack, addresses them privately via email or contact the system administrator. The key point is, the first, avoid spreading junk mail and chain letter. Do not engage in sending or sharing irrelevant or annoying messages that clutter inboxes. The second is, handle personal attack privately. If there's more serious issue, such as personal attack, address it through private email or by contacting the system administrator. And the last is be polite and respectful. If someone frequently sends jokes or relevant emails, kindly inform them of your preference to face-to-face conversation instead. Okay, next. The example is there is two example, inappropriate and appropriate. Inappropriate email. The subject of the inappropriate email is you won't believe this. Hey, you have to see this amazing joke. It's too funny to miss. Pass it on to 10 people or something bad will happen. The explanation is this is typical chain letter asking recipient to forward it, which clutter inboxes and is often unhelpful. The second is appropriate. The subject is you won't believe this. Hi, the name of someone. I hope you're doing well. I love a good joke now and then, but I prefer to hear them in person rather than through email. Thanks for understanding. The explanation is this response addresses the issue politely and maintain a friendly tone without escalating the situation. Okay, that's all from me. I return it to the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Turi, for the presentation. Okay, let's start the last topic. On this topic will be presented by Bunga. Please for Bunga.
Okay, thanks Dharma. Now I will present the fourth topic and our last topic about use high-tech gadgets wisely. In this topic, have seven subtopic. That's all. Take care to send message properly. Second, avoid sending a large email attachment. Third, watch your grammar and language. Fourth, use lowercase letter. Fifth, correct mistake, but don't be self-reduced. Sixth, don't be too informal in work email. And seven, using our other high-tech gadget considerately. The first subtopic is take care to send message properly. Write emails with care. Thanks to that little forward comment, your message can travel far and wide. After you send a message, you can never be sure where it's going to end up. Here's a few good lines for appropriately sending message. First, always include a subject, even if a preceding email had none, and identify yourself. Second, use a greeting and salutation. Third, answer all questions in a previous message. Fourth, avoid using the words urgent and important in the subject line. Fifth, don't request delivery and write receipt. Sixth, try to respond to an email within a day. And the last, double check the recipe's email address. The second subtopic is avoid sending large email attachment. Sending large attachment can be annoying to recipients. On occasion, some attachment even cause technical problems for particular computer system. If it is absolutely necessary to send a large file, notify the recipient ahead of time and try to compress the attachment. Document attachment are actually the cause of spreading virus. Installing protective antivirus software or having a virus scanner in place on your computer is a good idea. And third subtopic is watch your grammar and language. On the internet, the only measure that people have to gauge who you are is how you represent yourself. Don't use offensive language and double check your grammar and punctuation. Complete sentences are appreciated in business and personal communication. So try not to ruin English language completely by the overuse of internet lingo and acronym. And although email is casual, but if people have trouble deciphering your content, they won't be interested in responding. Use your spells checker. Some people may become impatient with too many grammar and spelling error. And laziness or sloppiness in writing doesn't make a good impression. The fourth subtopic, is use lowercase letter. Don't use all uppercase letter in a sentence unless you're genuinely angry and want the receipt to know it. This look as if you're shouting to an otherwise calm internet user. Avoid doing this, especially in business message. When you send an email message or post a message to a news group, use uppercase and lowercase letter, just as you would when you type a social letter. However, if you really need to emphasize a particular word, you can occasionally use all caps for no more than one word per sentence. Five subtopic, correct mistake, but don't be self-reduced. From the perspective of the journal, value for correction, documenting perception about PR, correction of misinformation on social media. In the context COVID-19, social media users are at crossroads between the need to correct misinformation and the social etiquette of online interaction. The journal presents the idea that while misinformation can harm public understanding and health outcomes, especially during crises like the COVID-19 pandemic. The act correction someone can also negatively impact relationship if not handled properly. Mistakes are inevitable part of human experience, and it's only a matter of time before anyone, including us, make one. It is not uncommon to observe instances where an individual corrects another's spelling error, only for their own message to contain a similar mistake. Such moments serve as humbling reminder of our shared fallibility. The sixth subtopic, don't be too informal in work email. Protecting personal information and practicing responsible online behavior on integral aspect of digital etiquette. There are effective measures to safeguard your family privacy. First, secure your device, install firewall, antivirus software, and spam filter to protect your computer from external threats. Second, exercise caution with personal information. Be vigilant when sharing personal details online. Third, monitor children online activities. Fourth, educate family members about online risks. Fifth, understand ESP policies. Familiarize yourself with your internet service providers with lines regarding acceptable online behavior. And last, stay informed. Subscribe to alerts from organizations such a national cyber alert system in www.ask-cert.gov or at http://www.ask-cert.gov. And the last subtopic is using other high-tech gadgets considerately. Technology has made communication easier, but has also led to a decline etiquette, as people often prioritize gadget over courtesy. Proper usage of device like smartphone, PDAH, and digital tools depends on the context. Avoid using them in social or professional setting where attention to others is required or where they may cause distraction. Be mindful of your surroundings. Use device directly in semi-private situation and excuse yourself if an urgent matter arises. Ultimately, respectful behavior, awareness of those around you should guide your use of technology. That's all from me. I turn back to moderator.
Okay, thank you, Bunga, for the presentation of the material. Next, there is big quote that we might be able to practice. Here it is. Together, we can bridge the gap in technology access and opportunity. Okay, next. Thank you. Please apologize if there is any mistake before. And goodbye.